Welcome, or as we would say in Bengali, Shagotam. I'm Sumaiya, and today I will be talking to you about International Mother Language Day. International Mother Language Day is a United Nations recognized holiday that celebrates thousands of languages that we have around the world. It started in Bangladesh, which is a small country in South Asia, and it celebrates the Bengali Language Movement. And I'm really excited to talk to you about the events and the movement that saved the language that my family and I speak today. So you may be wondering, why is it even important for us to learn about the languages around the world? Well, as the United Nations Director General states, language is a heritage that we should all cherish. Unfortunately, hundreds of languages are dying around the world, and we should try to understand why so we can try to save this world treasure. In this presentation, I'll first speak to you about the Bengali language movement and the festivals that we have on February 21st to celebrate this movement. Finally, we'll talk about the languages and the status of them around the world. The reason why I'm interested in International Mother Language Day is because my family is from Bangladesh, which means we speak Bengali when we're at home. This is me, right here, with a group of students from UNC for a group called Asha, which means hope in Bengali. Last year we had a huge celebration for International Mother Language Day, which you can see here, and behind us you can see boards representing all the languages that students at UNC speak. You're probably wondering, where is Bangladesh? Bangladesh is located in South Asia, so it's right beside India. It's this country right here. It's under the arm of India, so we like to say that India is giving us a little hug. There are three big countries in South Asia. We have Pakistan, which is to your left here. We have India, and we have Bangladesh. A long time ago, this entire area was India, and then in 1947, Pakistan and Bangladesh were actually the same country. So South Asia looked like this. Here you have West Pakistan on one side and East Pakistan, or current-day Bangladesh, over here. Even though these two countries were part of the same country, the cultures and the languages of these two areas were very different. In West Pakistan, majority of the people spoke Urdu, which is this lettering on your left-hand side. However, in East Pakistan, or current-day Bangladesh, the official language or majority of the people spoke Bengali, which is on your right. As you can see, the letters in both languages are extremely different. The government in Pakistan decided that Urdu would become the official language for both West and East Pakistan, which made the 44 million Bengali speakers in East Pakistan extremely angry. On February 21st, in 1952, thousands of students at the University of Dhaka, which is in the capital of Bangladesh, all gathered to go against the language law. When the police arrested one group of students who would come protest, another group would take over. So it was like an endless line of people coming in to try to stop the government from changing the official language. Here is another picture of the students who are protesting to save the Bengali language. As you can see, the students go on and on forever. It seems like there are thousands. During this continuous line or stream of students that kept coming in and protesting and trying to keep the government officials from changing the language, the police decided to open fire, and 5 students were killed that day. Finally, in May 7th of 1952, which is about 2 years later, Bangla was recognized as the second official language of Pakistan. To remember the 5 students who died in February, the Bengalis decided to celebrate February 21st as the Language Movement Day, or as we would say in Bangladesh, Shohid Dibosh, which is a major national holiday in Bangladesh. This structure or this sculpture that you see is a sculpture of the 5 students who died, and every year they have festivals around the students to kind of remember them for their efforts. To remember this struggle to save the Bengali language, the people of Bangladesh decided to make the Shohid Minar, which is seen on this picture. The first one was made a few days after the 5 students were killed to try to remember that what the students had done to save Bangla. However, this monument, which is the first one that they made, was destroyed by the police 3 days after it was made. Later, this Shohid Minar was created and is still in Bangladesh today. The design is supposed to be a representation of a half-circular column which symbolizes a mother and her fallen sons. The stairs and railings are painted white to create a heavenly appearance, and the fence is highlighted with lines from poems of famous poets in Bangladesh with iron letters around the monument. This is how the Shohid Minar would look on a regular day in Bangladesh. Every year on February 21st, the people of Bangladesh walk barefoot wearing black badges to celebrate and remember the language movement. The Shohid Minar is decorated with lots of flower designs depicting Bengali letters, as you see here, slogans, and also pictures of of Bangladesh. So this entire area, you can't even step foot on it anymore. It's just covered with flowers. Here are just some more designs that they make near the Shohid Minar. In the middle, you can see the shape of the country of Bangladesh, and you see students here working to decorate the place for the celebrations that will happen later that day. And here's an example of the finished product. The red circle that you see behind the white bars is only put there during the month of February to remember the people who have died. And in front of it, you can see a lot of Bengali letters, slogans, and also lots of designs. Also around this area, which you cannot see in the picture, is a month-long event called Ekushi Book Fair, which means February 21st Book Fair, and it's held every year during this time, where a lot of the Bengali authors and writers publish their works and make it available to the public. So it's like a huge unveiling. The language movement also had a cultural impact on the Bengali society and inspired a lot of development and celebration of literature and culture, which is still seen today. Also around the Shohid Minar, you'll see a lot of dancing, poetry recitations, people singing songs, and other types of cultural performances to kind of celebrate everything that the language of Bangla has to offer for the country. In 1999, the United Nations decided that February 21st should be called International Mother Language Day to both remember the struggle that Bangladesh had to save the Bengali language and to also celebrate the diversity of languages that we have across the globe. So every year on February 21st, they have huge events that happen around the world, and they're always themed with different topics. So they can be technology, sign language, and a lot of different topics that that associate with language. But so what, right? They're just languages. Who really cares? So why should you care about the languages that are spoken around the world? As this map shows you, there are lots of languages that can be found on every corner of this earth. These are just a list of the major languages that are spoken, and already you can see it's a pretty long list. And inside all these areas are a lot of smaller groups of people who speak a lot of distinct different languages. So although the previous map shows a lot of different languages across the world, according to the UN, over the past 3 centuries, languages have been dying out and are disappearing at increasing rates, meaning more and more languages are dying out every day. Today, at least 3,000 different languages are endangered or dying in a lot of parts of the world, which is why we think it's important to celebrate the languages that we do still have. This map shows you the areas in the world where a lot of the languages are endangered of being extinct, meaning not very many people speak that language anymore, and after that generation passes, that language will no longer be spoken on this earth. I'm going to show you a series of maps that will show you different continents or regions of the world that will show you the diversity of languages and also the rates at which they're disappearing. So this is Europe, and there are about 50 European languages that are endangered in Europe. Those spoken in northern Russia are also in trouble, and one of the most alarming rates of decline is in France, where 14 languages are on the verge of being extinct, meaning no one will speak them in the future. In South Asia, near Bangladesh, this is mostly a map of India, a lot of the languages are preserved, but slowly the smaller languages or the smaller little villages that you see, like the smaller dots, those will all become one solid color because slowly less people are speaking them and they're all starting to speak the same language. This is a map of Southeast Asia, and as you can see, this area is extremely colorful. That means there are a lot of different languages in the area. If you take this region and add all the little islands in Australia, there are more than 2,000 living languages in the area, which is about a third of the world's total. However, the problem is in a lot of these countries, the languages are dying out. So in Taiwan, there are 23 different languages, but 14 of those are endangered. And in Australia, there used to be 400 languages, but now only 25 are spoken. In Africa, there are about 1,400 languages, but about 500 to 600 are decreasing in numbers, and 250 are completely gone. In North America, we usually assume that we only speak Spanish, French, and English, right? Well, there are actually a lot more languages than we think. There are Inuit Eskimo languages, Native American languages, different dialects of Spanish in Central America. But there are only a few native Eskimo languages that are still being spoken today, and less than 150 Native American languages survived out of the several hundreds that were here originally. Finally, in South America, you can see it looks like a pretty colorful continent, meaning there are a lot of different languages. However, of the 375 that we have today, a lot of these are under threat of extinction, so soon this entire continent may be one single color or maybe two colors, which is a lot of loss. So right now we have about 3,000 languages in the world, but they're spoken by fewer than 10,000 people. That means for a lot of these languages, we maybe only have like 100 speakers. The preservation of language is directly related to the preservation of knowledge. So when we lose these languages, we're losing a lot of information that we can have about the environment, about the culture, and about the way that humans interact with each other. So it's important that we celebrate the languages that we have, encourage others to learn different languages, and to learn from each other as well. I hope you learned a thing or two about languages and the Bengali language movement with this presentation, and hopefully this will inspire you to either learn another language or polish up on one that you've already been learning, or to just try something completely new. Thanks. If you'd like to learn more languages, first, go to your school. I'm sure they have thousands of resources that you could use. You can use teachers, books, and even your fellow students. Also, the internet has a lot of different programs and resources that you can use to search words in different languages, understand cultures, watch videos, and also listen to people speaking other languages. Whatever it is, I hope you decide to learn a new language today.